Hi guys and welcome back. So I've already got my brows on and we're starting with a clean face, and I'm going to do a little bit of skincare. This is just the Pixi Glow Mist, and then I'm going to go in with the Pixi Rose Ceramide Cream as well, just as like my base. So this is like a really nice rose smelling like moisturizer. And I put like quite a bit of that on my skin because I always like to keep my skin super hydrated underneath makeup. We don't want any dry spots because that means that makeup is going to cling to those spots and kind of make it look cakey. And then for my pores, I use the Farsali Skintune Blur. Now this is such a good primer. It literally does blow your pores. So I kind of focus that in the T-zone and use my fingers to really kind of work that in and kind of press it into the skin. I don't necessarily wipe so much. I tend to kind of pat a little bit more just in those areas to try and concentrate it there. Then we look nice and flawless and we basically have no pores and we're ready for foundation. But actually today I have a little trick that I'm using for colour correcting. Now I have been breaking out like crazy. So I mean it's mainly hormonal breakouts around like my chin area and stuff, and mine get very red. So I'm just taking this turquoise melted shadow from Huda Beauty and I'm using that as my colour corrector, because whenever you want to combat green, you want to go for more of when you want to combat red, you go for a green or turquoise shade. And I'm just blending that in. And what's great about these melted shadows is that they dry down matte, and they basically don't budge once you kind of blend them out. So it's perfect for underneath foundation. And I'm using the orange one as well. I will link them in the bottom bar below. I just can't remember their names off the top of my head. But the orange side I'm using for underneath my eyes to help brighten and combat any kind of blueness or like dark circles or anything like that, and also the shadowing around my lip as well. And again, just blending that out with a little small buffing brush. And these, honestly, it worked so well and my makeup looks so flawless all day, which is incredible. Now your girl wanted to be full coverage today, so we're going in with the Fenty Beauty Profilt'r Matte Foundation, and then we kind of glow it up with a bit of highlighter later on. And this foundation is so flawless, it's unbelievable, and you can build it up to a really nice full coverage. It kind of starts off as more of a medium coverage, and particularly if you're covering up the colour correctant, you just want to kind of build that up as much as you want. But you know me, I love a full coverage beat. And then I'm actually going to go in with a bit of Tantour from Huda Beauty. I've been loving this again. I always kind of go in and out of it, but at the moment I'm literally obsessed. And I'm just taking it, I'm placing it first exactly where I want it with a little concealer brush, and then blending it out with the damp sponge. And actually this worked really well, and I kind of immediately blend it after I put it down. I don't want it to dry down or anything like that. It makes it so much harder to blend. And again, just doing that on the forehead. And actually I feel like using this concealer brush first helped a lot more with the placement of it, because you can't really just kind of slap contour on wherever you want, because the whole reason that we're you know doing this contour is that we want to kind of chisel our face, and depending on the structure of your face depends on where you want to put it. I prefer to lift my cheekbones a little bit more and try and make my forehead look a little bit smaller, but literally just around the outside. And then taking my tweezer trick again, I'm just doing my nose contour, and actually I drag that up into my brows as well. And then going in with my Huda Beauty Overachiever concealer. Oh, I adore this concealer. It's so good. It's very, very full coverage, so you don't need much at all. I think mine is in the shade like Cookie or something like that. And again, taking the Huda Beauty concealer brush, placing it just in the areas that I really want to bring forward and bring light to the face. So keeping that right in the center of the face, because we don't want to make it look any wider. And then blending it out with the damp sponge again. And it also blends really nicely into that Tantour. And oh, you just get this really amazing full coverage base. I'm really, really into this right now. And then I'm taking my Anastasia loose setting powder. This is in the shade Vanilla. And I really love this translucent powder. This and the Fenty Beauty Profilt'r setting powder are my favourites at the moment. And just using this little Huda Beauty brush just to kind of set everything. And then I take a huge fluffy brush. This one is from Dose of Colours and it's so soft. Their brushes are amazing. Just to set the rest of my face. And because I get super oily, if you're dry, I wouldn't bother because the foundation is matte. And then I just take a little bit of extra and I'm baking the sides of my nose and also cutting those cheekbones a little bit just to make them look nice and snatched. If you're going for more of like a 0 to 100 full coverage look, this is definitely what you need to be doing. And then I'm just taking a little bit of the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. I'm running that down the sides of my nose, and I also drag this into the front of my brow as well, because it gives a really nice connect between the eyeshadow and your nose contour, makes it look a little bit more natural, a bit more like an actual natural shadow, and it just looks really nice. And I've seen so many celeb makeup artists do this as well. And then I'm just going to wipe away the bake because it has been sitting there for quite a while at this point, and as you can see, it really just kind of like snatches the face. And then taking my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, this is a ride or die. I absolutely love this palette. The powders are so smooth. And then taking the big fluffy brush from Dose of Colours, and I'm going really lightly over the Tantour that we did, just to bronze up a little bit, because I mean, but the structure's pretty much already there, so you only need a little bit just to warm the face up. And then our full coverage base is pretty much done, but now we can go in with the eyes and finish off later. So taking the KKW Beauty Glitz and Glam palette, I'm taking the deepest kind of plum shade and a mix from this Pixi shimmer palette. So it's a nice brown shimmer, and I mixed the two together, popped them in the outer corner, and then used a blending brush to kind of wing that out a little bit. And then taking the gold shade from the Glitz and Glam KKW Beauty palette, I'm just popping that on the lid as well. So really quick and easy eye look to do. Then taking this black liner from Pixi, I'm just kind of lining right really close to my lash line, just to give it a little bit of definition before we go in with our lashes. And then I do my lower lash line as well. So I'm just taking the two shades that I took from the KKW Beauty and the Pixi palette on a little pencil brush and running that underneath my eyes, and I just take my time to kind of blend that nicely as well. And this actually was a really easy eye look to do. I didn't use many colours at all, and I just used different blending brushes to kind of create a different effect and kind of blend that out and wing it out nicely. Then taking a bit of nude pencil from NYX in my waterline just to open up those eyes a little bit, make it a little bit brighter, and then using this Charlotte Tilbury mascara, which I'm obsessed with at the moment. And then the lashes that I've been using at the moment are these Kate London KL18 lashes. I'm literally obsessed. They kind of remind me of the Miamis from Lily Lashes. And then for highlighter, the 3D highlight palette from Huda Beauty is unreal. Look how smooth that highlighter is. Even if you've got texture, like I get a little bit of texture and stuff on my skin, and this just, oh, it looks so smooth and unbelievable. When you've got like a full coverage look, this is the highlight to use. It's so good. But do try and avoid if you've got any breakouts, because it will kind of, any kind of highlighter will emphasize that. Then taking a pencil brush and doing it down my nose as well. I love a Tin Man highlight on my nose. I'm sorry, I just love it. And then a little bit of this is this a Mandarin blush from NARS? I think it is. Just a little orangey blush to finish it off. And then I'm using a Pillow Talk lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury, which is a really nice pinky nude. And then I'm going in with the KKW Beauty lipstick in the shade 90s Supermodel, and I'm popping that all over my lips. I absolutely love the KKW Beauty lipsticks. I cannot tell you how much I love them. They dry down matte, but they're not uncomfortable, and they last really well all day. They wear away really nicely, and they're just really nice nude shades that aren't too nude, if that makes sense. Like, they still have a bit of colour to them. This one's more on the peachy kind of pinky nude side, and it's just so pretty and went really well with this look. And then taking my absolute favourite lip pencil, which is the Sweet Tea from Morphe, I'm just creating a little bit more definition with my lips. Like, I really do love a really nice nude lip, but I always prefer, because I overline my lips a little bit, just to create a bit of shadow around the outside and a bit of definition. And then, oh, the face is done. So I really hope that you enjoyed this look, you guys. This is definitely a 0 to 100 full coverage look. If you don't like full coverage, I'm really sorry. I will be doing more natural looks on my channel soon. If you like this look, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment below, turn your notification bell on, do all of that, and then I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.